Hey, it's time for Drew Geraci's comics from my spinner rack. Ooh, yeah. Boy, I don't know why I haven't gotten picked up by a recording contract yet. Well, people are snobs these days. Okay, I randomly picked 5 books from my lovely spinner rack that I've had for about 20 years. It was a gift from a guy I did a convention for, and he helped pay my way, but he knew I wanted, he had 2 of them, and he kindly gave me one. And it's great. It was hard fitting in the car, though. We even had an Oldsmobile, but I had to stick it out the window partially because it was so long. DC, they were, how can I put it? In the early 80s, Jim Shooter came along, and there was a lot of new talent that came along, and a lot of the previous talent moved over to DC with open arms, were welcomed. And Keith Giffen was one of those. I think he did that even before the expatriation. Is that the right word? Legion of Substitute Heroes. Keith Giffen and Paul Levitz did a beautiful run on Legion with Darkseid, the Great Darkness saga, and this is more lighthearted, and it features, I think for the first time, Ambush Bug. And Keith Giffen, story and breakdowns. Paul Levitz does additional dialogue. Kurt Schaffenberger, a legend, does finishes. And Julia Schwartz is the editor. And he would later he would later edit an Ambush Bug 2 miniseries and special stuff. Look how great Superman looks. Giffen he went for the Joe Shuster look, which is just amazing. This is another one of the substitute heroes. They're called substitute heroes because they're not very good. They have these really weird powers, and but they think eventually, maybe they'll graduate to be in the Legion. That's Infectious Lass. I would stay clear of her. I wouldn't whisper in her ear or anything. I would have a bullhorn. Hey, over there. Okay, Ambush Bug is being a wise ass stone boy. And I mean stone as in rock. He goes, only one chance. I turn to stone before I crack up completely. And he gets stuck in the ground. And we see Superman giving it to Ambush Bug. Ambush Bug is just driving everybody crazy. He's doing all kinds of stuff. There's Color Lad or something like that. And all he could do is make colors. It's a useless power, so which is probably why he would never graduate to the Legion of Superheroes. Beautiful Joe Shuster, beautiful tribute. And for me, that's the first time I've seen it in forever. Let's see. Like I said, he's just always he actually was kind of nasty at first. He was kind of like a Joker, but not being he was over the top like Joker, but he wasn't truly evil. He was just a troublemaker. And, because that was just his fun. So, a 2-headed guy. So, it's terrific fun. I recommend it. Well, actually, all these books I recommend. Doom Patrol, baby. Part of the glut of the DC explosion happened, and I know I keep describing it every episode, but every episode is someone's first episode. So I'm going to jump into this. Hold on a second. I gotta hit the cough button for a minute. Wait. All better. Doom Patrol. This was all new. They were trying to get some heat like the all new, all different X-Men, which was just a runaway hit from the beginning. So the original Doom Patrol is dead. That's the old Robot Man figure, but a new one shows up. And I'd say Joe Staton is heavily influenced by John Burns, the way he did robotics. Introducing Tempest, that's the African American guy in the middle, Celsius, which is the lady with the black hair, and Negative Woman behind him. And Paul Kupperberg writes it in Joe Staton's pencils and inks. And so here's what I don't like. I really hated this. I thought this was a really stupid wussy move. The last issue of Our Greatest Adventure, I think it was called, that had the Doom Patrol, they were stuck on an island, and they were threatened with, how can I put it, I hold 2 detonators, one that will destroy a small New England town. Dare will sink. I will sink this island. You must provide the plunger. I push, providing that the Doom Patrol care more about their own skins and about the people they're sworn to protect. So basically, they're saying, okay, let you get blown up, or we'll destroy this town. They're like, fire away, okay, heroes. And that's how it friggin' ended in the My Greatest Invention. I'm just like, that's horrible. It's like the bad guys got away. They got rewarded for doing, shitty stuff. So here comes Robot Man. And there's a pipe, which may give you a hint to who that is. Like I said, this is that new upgraded body, but they went back to the original one in the 1986 series. So he steps in, and it's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they mix up. DC was getting more like Marvel. It's like that's how you introduce each other. You beat the shit out of each other, or come to some kind of stalemate. Now, Negative Woman has the same powers as Negative Man, and I can't really remember how it came to be, because this is all straight story stuff. What Grant Morrison did was really, really go crazy with all the characters and such. This woman here is the wife of Niles Calder, who she believes is dead. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. It's just one of those weird Bronze Age books that's kind of odd. I think the blonde woman is Russian, so they kind of went, that's a beautiful page. I love that. It's got that Burn Robotics thing going. Yeah, and here's like an early reprint of Swamp Thing from the legendary Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. At the time, Swamp Thing really wasn't selling, but they did these reprints, like double-size reprints, with 2 issues at a time, and that was pretty advanced. You didn't see a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay. Listen to me. I sound like a douche. Well, will he die? So, it's fun. It came out bam, bam, bam with all the DC Explosion, where they threw a lot of titles, and as I've mentioned countless times, there was a DC Implosion where they had to cancel a ton of albums, cancel a ton of titles, and so did Marvel. But for some reason, I guess because they didn't say the Marvel Explosion, they didn't get stuck with the moniker of the Implosion. This is from '82. Beautiful cover by William Stout. And PC Comics, Pacific Comics. They had some great stuff, and I don't know why it didn't last. They had some really good stuff. They had the Jack Kirby and his Captain Victory, which I liked. It takes a while to get warmed up to it because it's it's sort of a retread of certain things. But in a PC had the Rocketeer. They had some really good stuff. And they got top artists and writers. Bruce Jones wrote a lot, and Scott Hampton, a fantastic artist. And Somerset Holmes, I'll have to do a review of that sometime. The colors are a little garish, but they're kind of neat. Now we go into Ken Stacy, who works. He's very hard graphics, and it's pretty cool. And I like that a lot. Storytelling's a little wacky, but and maybe a little too much text. But he did Epic Illustrated and some other books. But he's generally really, I like him because he is unique. Now, how about that? Bernie Wrightson, Master of the Macabre. Wow. I gotta get that. I don't know how I missed that. But I guess it's leftovers from different stories or whatever. Here is Tom Yeats, who also did Swamp Thing for like the first year and a half before Alan Moore and Bissett and Todd Libin took over. Just really, I love the colors here. There's a lot going. And it's really advanced, and it's not. Sure, it's a little over saturated, but it was different from pretty much anything that was out there. The only thing that started to get that way was some of the Epic imprints, Like Dreadstar did it for a couple of issues where his wife painted the colors, and it didn't go over so well. Great stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at that. You got Alien Worlds. You got Vanguard, which I believe was a mix of. I think it was a like a new artist. What do you call that? Elric and Captain Victory. It was for young talent to grow. 3D Man. I love 3D Man. Oh my gosh, he's so great. Even though he has the most implausible origin story, but I mean, as a kid, I didn't care. I love that costume. I don't know. Maybe I'm screwed up in the head, but it took place during the 50s. And Roy Thomas, he was a teacher. He taught history in school for like a couple of years before he became a Marvel writer and editor. Pencils by Jim Craig, who I liked him. Dave Hunt on the inks. Dave Hunt has a really beautiful, bold line, and he's one of those guys that nobody talks about just because, I don't know. But I just think he's fantastic. So it has to do with this, rockabilly kind of guy. And the thing about the 3D Man, it has that arbitrary 3 hours limit of being 3D Man. I mean, same with Thor, with having 60 seconds exact to get back to his hammer. So Jim Craig was pretty neat. I liked his stuff. He did a couple of what ifs, and he seemed to be attached to Roy. Oh no, he also did a Marvel 2-in-1 annual that had Black Bolt in it. I think it was issue 3 annual. So there he is, the Cold Warrior, and I love that name. That's a great name. And there's Skrulls among this storyline. That's what I love, because it's got that Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of feel, and that's where I feel the first Captain Marvel movie really dropped the ball. It's like they could have made it Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it just fell flat. And so the one kid, younger Chandler, I don't know, last name Chandler. Well, when he changes, his brother appears on the wall, and he ends up like in a coma type state until 3D Man chases back, and that's a nice pose. And yeah, it's I think Dave Hunt, he just really makes it work. Wow, that middle panel right there, love it. I love it. Oh! Here's the thing. I was watching Jeopardy about 15 years ago, one of these episodes, and they had sports trivia, and that's my weakness. I don't know shit about that for the most part, but they had initials and times, what era that the people played, and they said 1950s, baseball something, and I said Ernie Banks, and my wife, our guests who were over, they all looked at me like they couldn't believe it. That's because I read it here. Even Ernie Banks couldn't have done that. I mean, it was just like nobody understood. I mean, I watch sports. I just don't really know a lot of the. I don't know any history in that. My cousin's like deeply into baseball lore. He reads a lot of books on that. So there we go. Well, goes back. So if it only lasted 3 issues, that sucks. So now, this was my favorite book for a long time, and one of my favorite books, Marvel 2-in-1. It was a companion to Marvel Team Up, which had Spider-Man, but every issue of Marvel 2-in-1 had the Thing, and he's one of the greatest comic characters ever. Jack Kirby and Stan had they all worked on that in the first issue, and he progressed. And he became a star in his own right, so he decided to give his own team-up book. And what I loved about it was, I like Black Goliath. It only lasted 5 issues. That was a real bummer. And then he showed up in Champions, and then also this. But what I liked was, even if they had a crappy character like Modred or some other ones like Skull the Slayer and such, having Ben Grimm with cantankerous humor always made it fun. It always made it fun. And you got some Sal Buscema and Pablo Marcos. And it's misspelled, but that's okay. I forgive, what's his name, Watanabe. Bill Mantlo and Jim Shooter's story. And Jim Shooter was just starting at DC, I think, at this time. Yeah, it's like the mid-70s. Beautiful. I like the combination. I've always loved Pablo Marcos's inks. You know, when he did Avengers and such. And this guy here, Bill Mantlo, he loves finding old characters from the Silver Age. This guy only appeared once before in an Ant-Man story. Yeah, he's the hijacker. So, with enemies like this, you could sort of see why Ant-Man never sold. Black Light. I love that, how he's getting bigger as he runs. Classic Sal. Looks like he's flashing somebody there. And it goes back to Ant-Man. Actually, wait. Shown way back in Tales to Astonish 40. And that's what I loved about Marvel continuity, is even the artist stuff qualified. And you know what? It's not entirely a bad story. It made sense. It just wasn't, I guess, compared to all the new books that Marvel did, it was probably a lower on the rung. It had a lot of different artists and no real direction. For years, I said, at the end, he says, "Ooh, the idol of millions is saved by a gnat's eyelash." I use that term, gnat's eyelash, for forever. So, here we go. What if? Totally blew me away. And there we go. That is sensational. That is sensational. So, really good stuff. Oh, I'm running over my 15-minute limit. Best ending. Just as I thought. I don't know you from Adam. My name is... Hey, I didn't ask. See this finger? Yes. Now you don't. Great stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, hope you enjoyed this, and have a good day.